So there are two ways a chick can be born. They can either be altricial, which is what I'm drawing right now, or the other one, which I will show you in a minute. But altricial chicks are basically born, they have no feathers, they can't really do anything, they just eat, sleep, and use the bathroom. Their parents have to take care of them, like they can't really do anything for themselves. They are basically just like these useless sacks of flesh that just sit there. The other one is known as a precocial bird. They are born, they are very fluffy when they hatch. They are very fluffy, like think of like a baby chicken. They're very fluffy, they're very cute, they can walk around. They still need the help from their mom, but they are basically just fluffy, they can walk around, they can see, they can open their eyes, they can do things that the altricial birds can't do. But basically, the main difference is in the feathers. Altricial don't have feathers, and then precocial do have feathers. In fact, they have like a lot of feathers. They're really fluffy. Now I'm going to get into the plumages. The juvenile plumage replaces the natal down. The natal down is the first set of feathers that a chick has. So if it's precocial, it hatches with the natal down. If it's altricial, it grows it in after it hatches. But this plumage will just come in and replace it, and they're going to look a bit messy because it's their juvenile plumage. And this is an example of a feather that's in pin. So it has the sheath on the outside, and then on the inside you can see the feather being pushed out. Here we have the first pre-basic molt, which comes in and replaces the juvenile feathers with its full-grown adult feathers. It's not like the full-grown adult feathers, like it still has more molts to go to get all of its feathers, but this is like its first adult molt, and comes in and it gives it its adult feathers. But because this is the first pre-basic molt, it does not have all of its feathers, so it will have parts where the feathers are just missing. It won't have all the feathers in it. Now we have the definitive pre-basic molt, which it molts like once a year. Now it actually has all of its feathers in. As you can see, the bird drawing, the terrible bird drawing, has all of its feathers. This is the first pre-alternate molt, which is where the bird will shed its feathers, or molt is the correct term. It'll molt its feathers, and then its breeding feathers will come in, so like the feathers with like the special collars will come in. And that's whenever the birds get all pretty and stuff for mating. So for a quick recap, we have the first basic plumage, which as a molt it'd be first pre-basic molt, and it's the first plumage of most birds that just replace the juvenile plumage or the juvenile feathers. And then we have the definitive basic plumage or the definitive pre-basic plumage, which is the final plumage of the bird that just has no juvenile feathers. And then we have the first alternate plumage, or the first pre-alternate molt, which is found in birds that molt twice a year, and it's what brings out the breeding color. And then some that I didn't draw is the definitive alternate plumage, which is the second plumage of the year, which possesses no juvenile feathers as well. And then we have the supplemental plumage, which is just additional plumage before the first basic plumage. It's just an add-on, basically. Not all birds do those. Now I'm going to go over feather types. So we have the contour feathers, which are superficial body feathers, aka the remiges and rectrices. And the remiges are wing flight feathers, and the rectrices are tail flight feathers. And then we have semiplumes, which are basically just insulating feathers. We have the natal down and the adult down, which are both insulating feathers, and they're really fluffy. They are like underneath the main feathers. The only difference is the natal downs in babies, the adult downs in adults. And then we have powder feathers, whose barbs disintegrate into like a powder to repel water, and they're mostly found in like aquatic birds. And they also use the powder to like clean themselves. And then we have the bristles, which are found around the eyes and mouth, and they're like really thin, and they act as whiskers. And then after that, we have phyloplumes, which are feathers found near the base of the rectrices and remiges. They are connected to sensory corpuscles to detect movement. I don't know how to say corpuscles or whatever that is. And they're also used in flight control.